I'm sorry, I just have a million questions, and then you can jump in. But for us here as Americans, we've reached a point where we're just drastically divided politically, and one of the dividing markers is our president. But for Christians and for what we like to see policy-wise, being a supportive role in Israel, he's done pretty great things. And so one of those was when he moved the American embassy over it was Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that presidents have been promising for decades and have never done. And so when he did that, it was like a really big statement. What's the Israeli view of him doing that, and President Trump, and I know tensions politically change over the years and stuff, but right now, what do they think of us?
I think that first of all, the Israelis look at the United States as the best, very close allies that sharing the same Western democratic values. And I remind you that we are the only democracy in the Middle East. And looking at what you just said of President Trump steps, the people in Israel love what he did. They appreciate very, very much what he did, because as you mentioned, there were quite few presidents in the past that didn't follow the Congress decision and postpone it again and again. And I think every country every state in the world have the right to define which will be her capital.
Absolutely.
And you follow President Trump election promise to remove the embassy, and he keep his promise. And we saw that the sky didn't fall, and this is the right thing to do. It was about time. It's done, in my point of view, 15 or 20 years later. But the people of Israel very fond of his steps, and very fond of the very positive and realistic, I would say, point of view of the administration, unlike other years that we've been go through.
Right. So aside from the president, but when you look at us as Americans and stuff, do you guys look at our craziness and have an opinion, or do you just not even pay attention like we do?
I'll try to be a clever person and don't go into American politics. We got Israeli politics, which is more than enough. And you know what the difference between a clever man and a wise guy. The clever men don't go into the troubles. The wise guys know how to get out of them. So anyway, but from the other hand, we are Israelis, and we are very direct. I think that America should behave as a superpower. And it's not something that you can choose, because this is what you are. Mm. And the only thing that happens when you withdraw from this position in the eyes of yourself, there's no vacuum. If you won't be there, someone else be there. And that's why we are so fond from the steps of this administration regarding being involved in the Middle East, regarding put this program at the end of the day that gives some kind of a track if you want to go for a peace treaty. And I was really surprised, for example, for some people in America response, for example, for the eliminate Soleimani. The guy was an archi-terrorist. He had the blood of hundreds of Americans and others on his hands. And in my point of view, it doesn't matter if you're left or right or center or whatever you want to be. You should be very, very pleased with the fact that such a person, which I don't sure that he entitled the title of person, removed from the world. And I saw some criticize about this kind of steps, which in Israel was accepted in fully understanding and very happiness. Yeah. So we are very fond of those kind of steps, because this is a different kind of language that you speak in the Middle East, and we are not sharing the same values. And what you and I will consider as a gesture, we'll consider in the Middle East as a weakness. That if you be weak, you won't be there. Right. So this is the way that you should deal with terrorism.
Yeah. So you mean when you're talking about a gesture, you're talking about the fact that if we try to make a peaceful gesture in a certain situation, that they just take it as weakness?
I don't know. They might take it by that way, and this is one of the reasons that we need to be strong, and we need to trust mainly ourselves. And we are very pleased with the fact that we had very true allies like the United States. And in the past, when people used to ask me, what are you seeing about the relation, mainly in the last administration, I always say that it's not a politically correct answer. I always say that the bonding between the American people and the Israeli people is stronger than any administration. And this is my great belief, because we really feel that this is like a sister or a big mother ally. Not familiar with a lot of places in the world. At the Independence Day of Israel, you see Israeli flags and American flags on the cars. I'm not familiar with a lot of countries after the United States that you have. We have in Jerusalem, we have a unique 9/11 memorial, which we built, and we felt it's happened just to us, while others was singing and dancing in the streets. So really the bonding is very strong, and I believe that it's became stronger with this administration.